guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you all for journeying with me. Thank you for those 100 subscribers. Many nearly say 100k, but I'm not reach just it. Thank you guys for all the support that you have given me so far on my YouTube journey. Now, welcome to Empowered RN. If you're new here, that's the name of my channel, Empowered RN. I found this name because the information I give over here is to empower you. There's no gatekeeping. It's about sharing resources, different advices, how to maneuver once you're an immigrant or a nurse in a new country, and just to move around and to make your life better. That's so nice, see? Very nice. Now, if you like the content that I am producing, just press the like button. You can press subscribe button, not too hard to do, just to keep supporting me and just to strengthen my labor to keep going. Now, as the name suggests, in today's video, we are going to talk about how to find part-time and PRN jobs. Now, everybody's on social media talking about getting the bag, getting a part-time and getting a PRN. But before we go into that, we need to know what's the difference between part-time, PRN, and full-time. No, for even if you're not a nurse, this information still can be used for you because it applies to many persons that are living in the US. And if you're leaving from your home country, coming to the US, you'll meet upon some of these jobs. Now, before we go into it, we're going to have a little discussion about what's the difference between these jobs. So when you get here, you'll realize that they have what we call full-time jobs. Your full-time jobs means that you are working on a contract, and especially for nurses, you have a specific hours that you work. Say you're contracted to work 36 hours. So you'll hear that nurses work 12-hour shifts, and you can work 3 12s will equal you to 36 hours. Once you have worked that's your full-time job. And once you have done your 3 12-hour shifts, that means that you have completed 1 week's work off on the job. So that's 1 week of your 36 hours, and you do this every month. Now, if you're doing your 12-hour shifts, that's what many nurses work over here, depending on your facilities. Some facilities may offer different times that we're familiar with back home, such as some facilities may offer you like 7 to 3, you have 2 to 10, and then 11 to 7. Now, 12 hours is very common. You can work your 12-hour shifts back to back, meaning like you can work from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That is called block scheduling. If you do that and you want to work that every week for your entire time, it is called block scheduling, and you can request that. Now, some persons like to mix it up a bit, don't want to go back the same day every day, probably get the same patients. You can mix it up a bit, and that's something we can touch on. Now, if you work your 12-hour shifts for one day or night, the different shifts are 7A to 7P or 7P to 7A, which is called your night and day duty. Now, if you go back the following day, you get back your same patients. This is from my experience. I know most places do that. So if you work your first shift and you come back, it's automatic that you get back that same group, and you have that same group if you want for the entire 3 days. Now, if you want to mix it up a bit, you can request to work, say, Sunday, Monday, then be off 2 to 3 days, and then come back like one last day out of the week to just cover your 36 hours. Now, with your full-time job, you have access to full-time benefits. Those include such as health insurance, which normally covers you and your family, dental, access to the pharmacy, tuition reimbursement, which means that the hospital will send you to school, and then in return you work back for them in the area that you studied to benefit them and give them back in time. So that's your hours. Now, after that, we have what we call part-time. Part-time means that you will come in for like 2 days out of the week. Based on your facility, you work less hours than that of the full-time. Now, with part-time, you may not, I think for part-time, you have access to full-time benefits, but it depends on the facility, guys. Every facility differs. You may have access to benefits and you just work less hours than the full-time. Now, with PRN, as the name suggests, if you're in the medical field, PRN means as needed. And you have a lot of these jobs over here. So you work on an as needed basis. If the unit is short, they call it just to come in. Sometimes they get notified even 30 minutes before a shift, or even 1 hour before a shift, or they want you just to come in just towards the end of the shift to do a 2 hours or 3 hours just to cover somewhere. That's what we call PRN. Now, the advantages of PRN is that PRN gives you a lot of flexibility. You work for them when you want to, and they also reach out to you when they need you. So you have a lot of flexibility. You don't have a certain amount of hours that you have to go in and work for them. You can tell them the days that you want to go in, and they can give you days that you want to go in. I remember working at a facility, and they'll normally give me the schedule, and I just try to fill myself in. Nobody cares how often you're working. People just want to see you just show up and just help to offset the shortage. So you can work as much as possible, and you're normally paid at a higher rate depending on the facility once you're a PRN, because you're just coming in to offset staffing, and that's a lot. Now, the disadvantage for me with PRN, depending on your facility again, is that you may not have access to benefits such as tuition reimbursement, health insurance for you and your family, dental, and all of those stuff, which are very important. But some persons love PRN, and many persons will have a full-time job and work their contracted hours and then go to a part-time or even a PRN job just to pick up something and have an extra cushion for any other expenses that they may have. So these are the differences between part-time, full-time, and PRN. And I actually love all of these, that you have the ability to work one place and you can just go pick up somewhere else when needed. It can just be off one day and you say, okay, I need some money, I'm gonna get some money, let me just go pick up that day, right? And you can just track yourself, and just work. So everybody know, once you're a nurse, that's just how you work. If you know you need money to do some extra shopping, and say, okay, this shift is going to cover for that. If you need a little furniture, this shift is going to cover for that. And those are how most of the jobs are overseas once you get to the US. Now, the big question is, how can you find these jobs? Where do you find these jobs? Your part-time, your PRN. Sometimes you can get them through word of mouth, such as a friend know a friend and say, hey, they have openings there, you can go there. But the best places to go, and the places that I love to go, are the apps. Now, you have various apps, and these are popular apps. Now, over here, you have what you call job boards. Job boards are where you can find jobs, and you just click a button and you apply. The different job boards include Glassdoor, in no specific order, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, my favorite, Indeed, and LinkedIn. And I think that's basically it. Let me look at my book. There's so many others out there, but I've just listed the ones that I've heard about and known about. Now, with LinkedIn, everybody knows LinkedIn, and put it here. It's a professional profile. So you put up a professional picture, talk about yourself, and it allows you to find people that are within your own spaces. So, for instance, nursing, if you're in law, if you're in social work, you find people that are in those spaces and you can connect with them to build your network. And it also gives you the opportunity to find jobs. I think you have to have a certain amount of followers to get full access to the jobs, though I'm not sure, but you can. Now, with LinkedIn, you can find any possible job you can think of, whether you want remote, meaning that you work from home, or if you want part-time or PRN, you can find that on LinkedIn. You just put in the type of job you're looking for, whether you're looking for a nurse, PRN, or part-time. Put in your country and put in your location, and they find you jobs within that specific area. They'll also tell you the rate that you're going to be paid by, which is very good also. No gatekeeping. And they have a responsive rate to that also. So LinkedIn is a popular area, and if you're interested in branching out of your field, I've seen a lot of tech jobs for nurses, different areas, non-traditional, that you can go in on LinkedIn. And it's very open, it's very broad if you want to just branch out and try something new. Now, the other one that I like personally is Indeed. That's my favorite one. I heard about Indeed through a friend. We got my friend Sasha, who put me onto that and said that's where you need to go to find the jobs. With Indeed, it is similar. You download the app through Play Store or through your iPhone, whether you have an Android or iPhone. Download the app, and the recruiters reach out to you. Though this is not only for nurses, any profession that you're in, you can upload your resume on it. That gives you a different advantage too, because the recruiters, if they're looking for a nurse for a specific job and they see that you have your bachelor's, you have this, they'll just send you a message, hey, I'd like to interview you for a job, let me know if you're interested or not. And you just click a button to say you're interested or you're not available. Now, Indeed does that. And why I love Indeed is that they just make you feel irrelevant. I've seen persons posted already that Indeed will send you positions that you didn't even think of. Somebody said they're a nurse, and somebody said Indeed sent them a job opportunity to be a pastor. And I've experienced it too. Indeed just make me feel relevant. I've gotten jobs for people with a master's and doctorate. I mean, I have. I may say, all right, if you send me this, that means that something is on my resume that qualifies me for this. And I normally just apply, and I just normally apply even if I don't want the job. I'm sorry, I'm not wasting people's time. But I love to interview myself and just make sure that I am up to date with what's happening in the interview realm. And this actually helped me because one time I didn't apply for any job, and they reached out to me and I saw a job. I did not turn it down. I just applied for it, and when I was in the interview, some stuff I was just not remembering because I did not have an interview for so long. And this is why I will advise people continually do interviews. It makes you relevant, and it makes you know which areas that you need to work on. So when the job that you really need comes up, you are successful at it. I do not turn down anything, and I learned this the hard way. I learned this from my home country, Jamaica, where I applied for a job. I was going to get the job, and they asked me if I'll be able to work the job, and that time I had my full-time job. I told them no, because I don't think I'll be able to manage the job based on the hours. One of my friends, who's one of my followers on here, Vanessa, said to me, never turn down a job. Do the job, and then you determine if you cannot do the job. Get it? So sign up for the job, tell them yes, you take the job, and if you're in the job and realize you cannot manage, that's when you determine that this job is no longer for you. And I've learned that, and this is something that I've taken with me, because I can be in my full-time job, and if I interview for a job, it's going to pay me a better rate, give me better benefits, I'm going to take it. So it gives you that leverage and that opportunity not to turn down anything, and just to set yourself up for success. Now, how to maneuver this app is that you just download the app, as I said before, put your profile on. You don't need a picture or anything. Upload your resume so that the recruiters can see exactly what they need, and they will reach out to you. Now, you scroll on this by just typing in what you're looking for, whether part-time or full-time, and the feed will just continually feed you everything that you need based on where you live. And they also post the rates that they're paying you, which is something really good. And they specifically tell you exactly what you need to have, what are they looking for, and you can apply for the job. And you can apply for a job if you just feel, I would say that you can apply for the job even if you just know within yourself you won't be able, you're not qualified. Still apply for it. You never know. And I've gotten a lot since I've been here. Most of the jobs and all of the jobs that I've gotten, I've never applied for them. People reached out for me, I applied, and I was successful in it. And I encourage you guys to go on these apps, and you can find it. I've not used many of the others, but I've heard about them that they're good too, such as Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter. I know Glassdoor does good reviews on the system that you're going to work with, such as the facility. They give reviews and all of that, and so that's something that you guys need to pay attention to. Before you take jobs, make sure you read the reviews and look how the reviews are, whether it's 2 out of 3, 4 out of 4. That determines how the facility is. And we know people can leave some reviews because, you know, they just didn't like the experience, or they just want it to look bad. But I do read the reviews also. So these are the different apps that you can use, and I listed below, and you can find them all online. Some of them you don't even have to download the app. I think ZipRecruiter and Glassdoor is online. You don't need to even download, but if you want to get a full experience, you may need to download that app. Now, these are all the different sites that you can find your part-time and your PRN jobs. And I said before, it is not necessarily only for nurses. Any profession that you're in, you can go here and find jobs. Just upload a resume. I think they also they'll determine what type of resume that they need. And you can find resume builders online that can build a resume. You just put in the information and they add to it. Now, these are where the different places that you can find your part-time and your PRN jobs. If you like the content that I have produced and the video, you can just subscribe and press the like button. Drop in the comment section if you have used any of these apps. I'll also list them below. Tell me about your experience. Did you know of these apps? Have you used them before? Do you like them? Do you recommend any? Thank you guys for watching, and also stay tuned for more content from Empowered RN.